Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mallory and I am a mom to a newborn baby boy, a military wife, and a registered nurse. And I'm so glad that you stopped by my channel for this video. Due to our circumstances of having just moved back to the United States from Germany and not having a house yet, so we were living in a hotel for over 2 months, I understand the need to really whittle it down and ask what is actually needed to bring a baby home from the hospital, because there's all these baby products out there. I mean, if you're pregnant, you know the overwhelm of what do I put on my registry, what is necessary and what is not. And besides being overwhelming mentally, it can get really, really expensive. And I wanted to share with you guys, in my opinion, what are the newborn essentials? What do you actually need to bring your baby home from the hospital? And then later, if there's other things that you want to add to your collection, you can. But what are those essentials on a budget that you will need? So in this video, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. What do you actually need for a newborn? And I promise you, it is not very complicated. So before we get into the video, make sure to hit the red subscribe button down below if you aren't already. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. All right, so the number one item that you need when you bring your newborn baby home from the hospital is a car seat. Unless you're going to be walking everywhere and you never, ever, ever ride in a vehicle, you absolutely need a car seat. We personally chose to go with a more of a premium version, spend a little bit more money for something a little nicer, and so we went with the Nuna Pippa car seat. However, you do not need to spend a ton of money on a car seat because all car seats in the United States have to meet certain regulations. So just because you're buying a less expensive car seat does not mean that it's not as safe. They're all safe. It's just that certain car seats have certain features that others may not. One reason why I wanted to get the Nuna Pippa is because they don't use flame retardants. And so there's not going to be that off-gassing when your baby is sitting in the car seat. I will be doing a review video of the Nuna Pippa car seat, which once that's up, you can find it in the cards up above. The next necessity, in my opinion, and some people will fight me on this, but this is my opinion, is a stroller. So I personally have found that we use the stroller a lot, and we went with the Nuna Mix 2019 stroller, which goes along with the Nuna Pippa car seat. Again, it's more of a premium product, and so might not necessarily be a budget item. Again, you do not have to get a really expensive stroller. The reason why I put a stroller on the list of necessities is that we have used the stroller, a lot with shopping. Like, we take it everywhere with us. Like, whenever we go into a store, I rarely put the car seat into the shopping cart. I always bring the stroller inside. And the Nuna Mix stroller does have a really large basket, and so that allows me to put groceries into that basket and not need a cart a lot of the time. Also, we do take a lot of walks around the neighborhood, and that's another reason to have a stroller. So I do think a stroller is a necessity. All right, the third thing is a safe place for baby to sleep and extra sheets for that mattress. So if you are really looking to save money, then my suggestion would be to skip the bassinet and just go for a crib. Okay, now the official American Academy of Pediatrics recommendation is to keep your baby in your room but not in the bed for the first 6 months of their life, because that reduces the risk of SIDS. So if you are just going to go with one sleeping area and your room is large enough, you could put the crib in your room for those first 6 months and then move the crib into the nursery if you're going to do nursery. However, if you have a little more wiggle room in your budget, I would recommend doing a bassinet, which is a smaller sleeping space that is for a newborn, and it will go right next to your bed. And if you're breastfeeding, this makes night feedings so much easier because you don't have to get out of bed. You can just reach over and grab your baby. We personally have the Halo Bassinet, and again, I will be doing a review video on that, which you will be able to find in the cards up above once it's up. I will also be doing one on the Nunamix stroller. Also, another idea is if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a crib or a crib and a bassinet, that you could actually get a pack and play or a play yard. Those are considered safe sleep spaces. They're an approved sleep space. It's really hard to say. And you could have that in your room for the first 6 months and then move it into the nursery. I know that it's not a regular crib, but if you're really, really tight, that could serve as your crib. Also, it can serve as a crib when you travel, so it does have multiple uses. All right, now we all know, of course, that babies need diapers. That is definitely a necessity. The top two things would be a car seat and diapers, right? You can't get along without those things. And also wipes, of course. Now, some people will choose the cloth diaper because really in the long run, that is more budget friendly, but a lot of us, including myself, just don't want to mess with cloth diapers, and we have chosen to do disposable diapers. My two favorite brands that we have used are Cloud Island, which you can get from Target, and Hello Bello, which is amazing because it gets delivered right to your doorstep. You don't have to go anywhere, and every box of diapers comes with packs of wipes as well. This is not sponsored by Hello Bello, but I do have a link for you guys in the description box if you're interested in trying Hello Bello. Okay, now going along with the diaper theme is to have a diaper caddy. Yes, I do consider a diaper caddy to be a necessity because once again, with those overnight diaper changes, you don't want to be getting out of bed, coming into the nursery, going to the changing table if you have one, and changing their diaper. You just want to stay in bed. I don't even get out of bed to change this diaper. And so a diaper caddy allows you that luxury of staying in bed. And so you're going to stock the diaper caddy with all your necessities. And I will be doing a video about how to put together a diaper caddy. My favorite caddy holder, like actual caddy, is the Skip Hop light up diaper caddy. And that is really handy because in the middle of the night, you don't have to turn on a bunch of lights. You can just tap the top of it and turn the light on, and there you go. You can change your diaper. You will also need basic clothing items for your baby. You do not need cutesy outfits. All you really need are some white onesies, some white undershirts, socks, hats, and footy pajamas and or the sleeper gowns. That is really all you need. I do not consider baby mittens a necessity. You can just file your baby's nails down if they're long and scratchy. I don't own one pair of mittens for Max, and we've gotten along just fine without them. Another necessity that's kind of like a clothing item are swaddle sacks. Trust me, you do not want to be struggling with a swaddle blanket trying to wrap your baby up like a burrito. You want to get a super easy swaddle sack, and what we have used is the 3-pack of the Swaddle Me Velcro swaddle sacks, and that has gotten us by just fine. There have been a few times where he's soiled them, like his diaper is leaked, and then we use them up and then I have to do laundry, but that hasn't happened a ton. So the 3 has gotten us by just fine. So I would say get that pack of 3 of Swaddle Me swaddle blankets or swaddle sacks, and you'll be good to go for the newborn stage. You'll also want either a quilt or a knitted blanket and some swaddle blankets, even though you won't probably be actually swaddling your baby with a blanket. Those still come in a lot of handy. So a quilt or a knitted blanket is nice for covering your baby when you go out with the car seat. So like if it's cooler outside, that's really nice for covering them up. You could also lay the quilt or the blanket on the floor for tummy time. So maybe you'd want like a couple of thicker blankets, and then The swaddle blankets, which I personally love the copper pearl swaddle blankets, they're really pretty and soft. Those are really nice for putting over the car seat when you go out, like covering up so people can't see them, or like put their hands in there, covering them up, or sheltering them from the wind when you're on a walk. Those things are really nice to have, but you don't need a ton of them. You just need a couple. Speaking of swaddling and sleeping, a sound machine is another must-have. And if you're only going to get one sound machine, I suggest getting one that is portable and you can put batteries in it, or that you can charge it so that you can take it with you in the car, on walks, around the house, and you don't have to have it plugged in. We have the Project Nursery sound machine, and that has served us really well. We do have a second sound machine that is permanently plugged in next to his bassinet, but we already had that for our sleeping purposes, and so we didn't have to purchase an actual plug-in sound machine. A diaper bag is also a really good thing to have. Now, it doesn't have to be one of those really expensive fancy diaper bags, and it doesn't even need to be a designated diaper bag. You could just use a simple backpack or a shoulder bag. We do have a designated diaper bag, but it is a backpack, and I got it really cheap on Amazon. I think it was like $23, and it's the Revolino diaper backpack, and I will have that linked in the description box below, and as many things as I can linked in the description box below so you guys can easily find this stuff. Burp cloths are another necessity because you don't know if your baby's gonna be a big spit-uppy baby. Max was for like that first couple of months. He spit up a lot, and he still does spit up sometimes. So you definitely wanna have a bunch of burp cloths like scattered throughout your house. Trust me on this one. You will want some in the nursery, in your bedroom, in the bathroom, in the living room, in the kitchen, like everywhere in your house you want to have at least one burp cloth. A baby carrier or a wrap is a really good thing to have. You can either do one of those soft wraps that are just made of cloth, or you could do a structured carrier. So we have the Moby wrap, which is a stretchy material. I actually bought that secondhand for $15. They usually run a lot more expensive. So if you can get a used, it was actually hardly used at all. But if you can get a secondhand wrap like that, that's really great. There's actually a website that I'll link below that has secondhand stuff, Goodbye Gear. Or we do have a structured carrier, the tactical baby carrier, which it took him a little while to grow into that. So if you only want to get one, I would suggest getting a cloth wrap or a ring sling at the beginning so that they're not too small for it. But having a carrier or a wrap is really great for those times when your baby doesn't want to be put down, they want to be carried, but you also have things to get done, or your husband is not at home to help out, and those things can be really, really handy. I do consider books to be a necessity for your baby, and here's why. Reading to your baby is so important for their cognitive development. My sister-in-law is an elementary school teacher, and she can tell which kids have been read to early on and which have not. So it's so, so important to read to your baby. One idea is, if you're having a baby shower, to ask your guests to bring a book instead of a card. And we did that for one of our baby showers, and it's really nice having a little collection. Also, black and white cards are, I would consider, a necessity, because at the very beginning, newborns can't really see color. They can only see contrast, black and white. And you can actually find these things for free online. There's like printables of black and white contrast cards, and so you don't even have to spend money on that. Now, you will need some body products for your baby, health and body products. So things like an all-in-one hair and body wash, 3 to 4 washcloths, a towel, the little water brush that you get from the hospital. I'll insert a little picture of it. A booger sucker or a bulb. I personally really like the NeilMed booger sucker, although the Freedom Mom is okay, but I really like the NeilMed actually better. Zinc oxide diaper cream and hand sanitizer. don't go crazy with getting a bunch of stuff. Like it's really enticing to try, you know, to want to try out all these different brands, but go with a brand that you really trust and just stick with that. And all you need is just one hair and body bottle. I mean, it's gonna last you a really long time. You don't need to go out and buy all this fancy stuff for the bath. And then finally, some people might argue that this is not a necessity, but in my opinion, it's one of those things that makes life just so much easier, and that is a nursing pillow. I personally use the Boppy nursing pillow, and when you're first learning to breastfeed, it is just so helpful, right? Like, you could technically use just regular pillows and prop your arms up, and that's what I did at the very beginning when I was in the hospital. But after like a couple days, I was like, can you get me my Boppy pillow? And that was just so much easier, not having to finagle all these different pillows. So I would say that a nursing pillow is a necessity if you're gonna breastfeed. Okay, now at the very end, this is kind of some bonus content. I just wanna run through a few things that you might think are a necessity, but in my opinion, actually are not. Like, you can totally get away without having this. So the first thing is a baby bathtub. You can just use the sink put like a large towel in there and use the sink. Baby containers. So by containers, I mean like the Boppy newborn lounger, swings, bouncers, stuff like that. You do not need that stuff. All you need is your arms and the floor and maybe a carrier. You don't need a play mat. You can just use a blanket. You don't need a bunch of toys or a baby gym. That can come later. They're not gonna be playing with toys. Like I said, just board books and some black and white cards are fine. And this might be surprising, but in my opinion, a baby monitor isn't necessarily as a necessity at the beginning. If you do have a 2-story house, it might be a necessity for you. It just depends. But if you have a smaller house or a 1-story house, I would say it's not necessary. And we actually got along about 3 weeks without a baby monitor. And I had a C-section and we have a 2-story house. So life would have been easier with a baby monitor, but we were fine without one. Okay, you guys, so that is my list of must-have necessities. And, you know, it's debatable, but this is my opinion and things that have come in handy for us. Your baby doesn't need that much. I can't stress that enough. So don't worry about that stuff at first. When I'm making this video, it's when that scary virus is going around, and I know that a lot of people are having their baby showers canceled or having to cancel their baby showers, and you know, your plans are getting messed up. So I hope this is encouraging to you that even if you don't have a baby shower, it's totally possible to get by with less than you think. So I encourage you to be minimal. Please don't panic. Everything's gonna be fine. And I hope you found this helpful. And in the meantime, stay tuned for more videos along these lines of bringing home a newborn. And in the meantime, see you in the next video. Bye.